Good evening and welcome. You're with News First, your number one news provider. I'm Shamir Rasuldin.
A very good evening. I'm Mahina Bongso. Here are the stories that are making headlines tonight.
The President says that it is essential to create awareness about the Southern Expressway amongst the public. The UNP charges that due to the government's failure to counter the Channel 4 documentaries, there is a build-up of a negative opinion against Sri Lanka. The Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that the government has not committed any wrong. Permission granted to import cement as a solution to the shortage.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa states that it is essential to create proper awareness about the Southern Expressway amongst the public. The President made this statement at a meeting held at Temple Trees today.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa presided at the progress meeting of the Ministry of Ports and Highways, which was held today. Discussions were held regarding the progress made by the ministry and the projects that are to be completed. A release issued by the President's media unit stated that the head of state focused special attention on the Southern Expressway, which is to be opened shortly. Meanwhile, officials of the Public Service Commission and the National Salaries and Cadre Commission met the President today. The meeting, which was held at Temple Trees, focused on the issues prevalent in the public service.
The United National Party has charged that due to the government's failure to effectively counter the Channel 4 documentaries, there has been a huge build-up of negative opinion against Sri Lanka. This was stated by UNP General Secretary Thisatta Nayaka at a media briefing that was held in Colombo today.
ජාත්‍යන්තර මතයක් දැන් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවට එරෙහිව හැදෙන්න මූලිකව
International opinion is emerging against Sri Lanka mainly because of these videos and the ineffective response of the government. I recently saw how the government has begun a certain media campaign. That is good, but it is insufficient because the government is not following a diplomatic process. A disadvantageous situation is being created for us because of the shortcomings in the diplomatic setup and the delay in providing a favorable response.
දුර්වලකම් නිසා මේ අවස්ථාව අපිට ටිකක් අවස්ථාවක තත්ත්වයක් නිර්මාණය වෙලා තිබෙනවා.
Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that Sri Lanka has not engaged in any wrongdoing. He made this comment during an interview with Headlines Today, an Indian network.
I mean, we are a sovereign nation and we have a very good legal system that which has left by the Britishers. I mean, why should we go by, and we have the capability to defeat the massive terrorist organization which most of the people thought we would be able to do it. We have done nothing wrong, and it is very unfair to tell that. This is not the international community that is wrong, word international. This is some of the people in the international community may be doing this. I mean, the existing constitution is more than enough for us to live together. I don't think there is any issue on this more than that.
Now you can watch the full interview with Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa this Friday on Channel 1 MTV at 10 p.m.
A demonstration was held in Colombo today against the actions of Britain's Channel 4 media network. The demonstration was organized by the Free Mass Media Association opposite the Fort Railway Station in Colombo today. The Federation of Self-Employees and several artists also joined the demonstration.
Attorney at law Gomind Dasri states that the report and video compiled by the government under the title Humanitarian Operation Factual Analysis is a proper answer to the attacks from the West and the Channel 4 documentaries. The senior lawyer made this observation during an interview with Newsfest.
I think Sri Lanka has been having a very negative impact from Western media who has been hounding Sri Lanka, and I don't think so far we have been able to produce anything that will create a great impression on the Western minds, because we have presented things in a more emotional manner. And this, I think, is for the first time a book and a video has been presented that is appealing to the Western mind, because we have looked at it as to what are the issues that would interest them. We have many trumps in our hands, but we don't play them. And for the first time, I think, we have been able to look at it and present our point of view to a Western audience. I think we should never present the full picture, because the trumps must be kept, as I said, in a game of bridge, you keep it to the last rubber. So that to that extent, I think the most valid criticisms have been met. But whatever the government does, this has been done by the Ministry of Defence, and it's a very remarkable answer. But I think the presentation has to be done by the Foreign Service, our diplomats abroad, and so far their performance has been woefully inadequate. It's I think it's a remarkable opening, and one cannot rest on laurels of one particular presentation. I think a lot more has to come, and this is an excellent starting point to set out our position, which has so far not been presented adequately. I think legal action is something that you must take to, if you are prepared to wait 4 or 5 years, because the legal proceedings will take such a long time. I wouldn't ever recommend legal proceedings and answer to a media outburst. You've got to meet it head on, face on, dealing with media, because as you know, any kind of litigation is so time consuming that the whole purpose is lost by the time the judgment is delivered, and then there are appeals and there's no end to it. Litigation is not an answer when you have a media breakout like this. I mean, you got to, it's like breaking news, you got to break, if they break, you got to hit them back and come out with your defenses and set out the position so that the public are duly informed of the correct position. The whole purpose is educating the public, and not, the intention should not be to get judicial triumphs in court.
You're with the news first. Coming up on the news tonight, 112 people die after contracting dengue during the first 6 months of the year. Fresh outbreaks of violence in Syria as the army moves against anti-government protesters. And in sports, the Australian squad engages in training at the SC grounds in Colombo. We, of course, will be having the details of those stories coming up in a moment. Moving on to more local stories. Leader of the opposition of the Indian Parliament, Sushma Swaraj, says that she will visit Sri Lanka next month. Swaraj has said that she will make use of this opportunity to also visit Jaffna.
The opposition leader of the Indian Parliament is expected to tour the island between the 17th and 18th of next month. According to the Hindu newspaper, the leader of the opposition has made this statement during a press conference after meeting Speaker Chamal Rajapaksa during his visit to India. Meanwhile, Sushma Swaraj apologized for the protest held in the Indian Parliament against a group of Sri Lankan MPs, including Speaker Chamal Rajapaksa, when they visited Parliament yesterday. The Hindu newspaper states that the Lok Sabha Speaker expressed the hope that there would be comprehensive engagement between India and Sri Lanka to find an honourable solution to the problems of the Tamils in Sri Lanka. Furthermore, the office of Speaker Chamal Rajapaksa issuing a release stated that India's Speaker Meera Kumar had said yesterday that the protest of a small group would not disrupt the friendship and cordial relations between the two countries, and condemned the protest launched against a visiting delegation who arrived at the Lok Sabha based on her invitation. The release notes that 9 members representing the Dravida Munnetra Kalam Party and Marxist Communist Party had protested by shouting slogans and introducing the visiting delegation as war criminals who murdered Tamil people. The release further states that the delegation headed by Speaker Chamal Rajapaksa also includes Dinesh Gunawardena, John Siniviratna, Rishad Badiuddin, Muthu Sivalingam, Professor Rajiv Vijayasinghe, S. Adakkaranathan, D. M. Swaminathan and Malini Fonseca.
It is the dengue virus which claims the lives of such innocent children. During the past 6 months alone, 112 individuals have died after contracting the dengue virus.
Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus mosquitoes are the carriers of this deadly virus. It is interesting to note that eggs laid by these mosquitoes could survive up to a period of 1 year even without water. The mosquito larvae will turn out to be a fully grown mosquito during a period of 7 to 10 days. High fever, headache, muscle pain, lack of appetite are some of the symptoms associated with the dengue virus. The onset of dengue hemorrhagic fever often leads to complications such as low blood pressure. Much attention has been focused on the Colombo district, which has produced the highest number of dengue deaths. Incidentally, out of the 246 deaths reported during last year, 58 deaths have been reported from the Colombo district. However, during the past 6 months alone, 51 deaths have been reported from the district. 34,105 individuals have contracted the dengue virus in 2010, while 13,975 dengue patients have been reported during the past 7 months this year. The entire village contracted dengue and 1 child died. The health department came once and smoked this area, and that was it. However, according to the Government Medical Officers Association, the lack of public interest to curb the mosquito menace has also contributed to the rapid increase in the dengue cases.
How can we take necessary action to stop spread of dengue fever in Sri Lanka? Now we saw this is not an individual issue. This is a teamwork. Now even the MOH and the PHI and all these public health workers, doctors are coming to your place. You have to be very cooperative with these doctors and the staff when they are coming to inspect your houses. And sometimes we didn't see that cooperation from the public in certain situations.
The government has adopted various strategies to curb the spread of the dengue virus. Some of these include the establishing of task forces as well as distribution of the BTI bacteria. However, the distribution of the BTI bacteria has led to much debate.
Dengue is spreading very fast. People are inconvenienced and deaths are reported. As a solution to this, health officials imported the BTI bacteria. They said that it was the remedy to all ailments. When dengue was spreading in 2009, health officials said that they will bring the BTI bacteria and financial allocations were made. They said that dengue can be controlled with the BTI bacteria without a problem. Today it has been proven that it is a big lie. We imported 10,000 milliliters of this bacteria to control dengue. We also produced some locally. These stocks were distributed on a provincial level. Not only dengue, the health ministry has been successfully carrying out all other prevention activities as well. They are carrying out a proper service in the hospitals too.